반갑습니다. 전용덕입니다.
Good afternoon. I am JHUN Yong Duk. I'd like to first congratulate the organizers of the SDF for their 10th event. And I personally am attending this SDF second time, and therefore it is a great honor for me and great pleasure. Sorry, what? Now, you will understand what this character is. He plays a very important role in our movie. Do you know what movie that we are talking about? It will soon be premiered on May 16th, and at a large theater. Please enjoy it in 3D format. Then you will enjoy the fun of this film to the maximum. The creativity and technology and collaboration between these two is the big topic. And under this topic, we have the co-directors of Cruz family, the Kirk DeMICCO and Chris Sanders. The two directors, would you come onto the stage, please?
Jeff here.
Hi.
Hey, Young Duk.
Hello. Hi. Who's Chris and who's Kirk? I have no idea.
Chris.
I'm Chris.
Kirk.
And this is Kirk.
Yeah. And I'm Yong Duk. Have you been to Korea before?
I have not.
First time.
First time.
First time. Okay, I see. How was the flight?
It was a lovely flight.
Lot of food.
They did that thing where they shut the windows and pretend that it's night, but it's not night. And then you're trying to sleep. And like when everybody, you're like, I think everyone's asleep. Maybe I'm the only one that's not.
Uh-huh.
So I raised the thing just a little bit to see.
That was you.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh my God, that blood in my eyes. All right, so today we'll talk about the creativity, 창조성과 협력에 대해서 이 두 분 감독님과 앞으로 세션을 진행하겠습니다. Why don't we take a set?
Okay.
I think I got the clicker. Got the clicker. I forgot.
You got no clicker?
All right. All right. I think I need a clicker. So.
All right, clicker.
So, Chris, could you please talk about the Croods?
Unrehearsed gag.
I think I should sit over here. So, please, could you please talk about the Croods? Who's behind the scene? Who's the voice casting? And then just briefly tell us what's the movie about.
Okay, so The Croods is a story about a caveman family that loses their cave, and they go on the world's first family road trip to find another one. And on that journey, they're going to change forever because they go out into the outside world for the first time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Should we meet them?
Yeah, can we meet them?
Let's meet them.
Who are they?
Start.
There's our dad, played by Nicolas Cage. He's Grug, and he is the strongest, most protective father in the history of fathers. And there's Eep, Emma's played by Emma Stone, and she's Nick Grug's teenage daughter, and she has a yearning that there's more to life outside the cave. And here comes human being 2.0, and his name is Guy, played by Ryan Reynolds, and that little belt is his best friend and his companion, and Guy has the world's first imagination. Thunk, played by Clark Duke, and Thunk is 6'9", 290 pounds, and 9 years old. And the poor guy wants to be just like his dad, but he couldn't hit the broadside of a mammoth. Mom, Catherine Keener, plays Uga, and Mom has this hard role because she's sitting there between a father and a daughter, teenage daughter going at loggerheads, and she's got to keep the peace. And Gran, Cloris Leachman. And we like to say that Gran is, some say she's 42, others say she might be old as dirt. So Gran is played by Cloris, and she's like the strongest survivor out of everyone.
That's great. So what's happening in the scene, Chris?
Which scene are we looking at the opening hunt?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
no, not yet. We'll just go over like first and second act.
Okay, so the first act. The scene that you see right here, this is Grug. The Croods spend most of their time in the cave. Grug takes his job very seriously. He has to keep his family alive. That's his only job. It's his only thing. He keeps his family alive. And the best way to do that is to never let them out of the cave. So the Croods spend a lot of time in the dark. And that is something that his teenage daughter, Eep, played by Emma Stone, in particular, she hates the dark. She just wants to get out. And so what happens in our film is you're going to see them a little bit, you're going to see them go out and get breakfast, and you're going to see how tough it is to live in this world. But as soon as they get breakfast, as soon as they get a little tiny bit of food, it's back in the cave, Grug rolls the rock shut, back into the dark. But one night, Eep sees a light go past the cave in the dark. And she breaks the biggest rule of all, which is you never, never go out at night. The Croods can't survive the night.
I don't get it.
The Croods cannot survive the night. They've never been out at night. They don't know how to deal with it. So she sneaks out and she follows that light. And what she's going to discover is fire. She's going to find this little torch. It's being carried by that guy that we just saw. His name is Guy. He's Ryan Reynolds. He is Human Being 2.0. And unlike the Croods, he can make tools, he can make fire, he stays outside at night. And this is the first other human being that Eep has really ever met. And this meeting is going to change everything for the Croods. Because Eep snuck out that night, Grug is going to go out to find her, and because he and the rest of the family went out to find her, when this giant cataclysm hits, they're going to be outside the cave collapses. It saved their lives not being in the cave, but it alters their lives forever, because once their cave is gone, they're going to have to go find another one.
Got it.
Should we keep going? Just follow this? Or?
No, I think we
I don't want to go too far.
Right,
I don't want to tell the whole thing.
You don't want to ruin the movie.
Spoilers.
You go see it, yeah.
자, 그러면 백문이 불여일견이라고 했죠. 저희가 한국 최초로 공개하는 5분짜리 클립입니다. 저희 영화에서 나오는 장면인데요.
That is being released for the first time in Korea. This is probably the first part of the movie. And it shows how difficult it's for the Croods to find something to eat. Okay, let's enjoy the movie.
Who's up? We'll flip for it. Collar in the air. Tails, thunks in. Positions? Okay. Thunk. Go. Come on, Thunk. Way to go! Take it to the cave! Release the baby!
Get Sandy, go!
Oh, hey, Dad. Can we eat now?
Just wait till we get home. Eat, put on the brakes. Who's hungry?
Good one, Dad.
Here you go, Thunk. Drink up.
Sorry, Dad. Looks like fast food tonight.
Well, that's all right. I ate last week.
Two-knuckle warning! Come on, crew. Go, 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 go!
자, 어때요? 대박 날 것 같아요?
Do you like it? Is it going to be popular? So those who would like to go to the movie house to see it in the first week.
Is that what it was? Okay. I didn't know what that question was.
네, 카메라 작업, 촬영 작업을
So, question for you, Kirk.
Okay, question.
So, you directed together, co-writing, co-directing. How does that work? How do you write at the same time?
Well,
do you write at the same time?
Well, actually, we outline everything together.
Yeah.
So we do an entire outline of every single sequence in the film, and we put it up on a board, and it's like all these different cards. And then after we've gone through that a bunch of times, and Chris and I have talked about it enough, we'll kind of pull the scenes off, and we each take a different scene. And we will write a scene by ourselves, and then after we feel pretty good about it, we'll hand that back to the other person, and we go back and forth and back and forth. And so, and that really helps us when we get to the stage of directing, because Chris and I will both know the material so well. We'll know what we want from every single scene. We know why it's in there, why the choices were made. So when we're out directing, we can give sort of unified, direction, and we don't have any disagreements or anything, because we know what the scenes are about because we wrote them together.
Oh, that's great. So then, Chris, question for you.
Yes.
So you're a story master, both of you are story master. So how did you actually start to develop the story of the Croods? And just tell us about until, how to visualize it, like storyboarding process, please.
Yeah, this story, like all animated films, it changed a lot. It did not end where it began. When this movie began, it was actually 9 years ago. It actually began with Kirk and a whole different set of people. It was about a village full of cavemen. And really, it started out, this movie was unusual. It started out not as a fairy tale, not as something that already existed. This is an original story. And there's some amazing challenges to that. I mean, at first you think, oh, it's an original story. We can do whatever we want. And then just like looking at a blank piece of paper, you're like, oh no, I can do whatever I want. I don't know where to start. And unlike having a fairy tale, you can go anywhere you want. So finding what story we just wanted to tell was really the very first task. And so it was really Kirk that figured that out, because what you want to do, a story is about change. That's what a story is. A story is about change. It's about a character who changes the world, or it's about a character who changes by going out in the world, or a little bit of both. And that's really what this story is all about. It's about a bunch of characters that go out into the world and they change. And Kirk realized that the best way to tell that story is not with a whole village full of people, but with just one family. And so when we figured out what we wanted to say, Then we were able to outline this thing and start to tell the story of a family that goes out in the world against their will and changes because they went out there. And once we write the story, one of the neat things about animation is that it's such a visual medium. We don't just go to production. First, we storyboard. And what you're seeing here are some little tiny pieces of our storyboards. Because a lot of the sequences in this film actually don't have dialogue. So one of the great things about being directors on a film like this is we can actually get to a sequence and say, you know what, this is going to be a musical sequence, there's no dialogue. We'll hand this to one of the story artists and they'll storyboard it. And a really good example, because I don't think you've all seen the film yet, a really good example of this, I'll go back to How to Train Your Dragon, which is another film we worked on. In How to Train Your Dragon, we have this moment where Hiccup and this dragon end up in a cove together, and they have to meet each other and start to like each other and start their relationship. And if you remember that sequence, there's no dialogue. And that's something that we can do on storyboards and only storyboards. And so once we write, we go to storyboards, and once we get those done, then we'll move into production.
Gotcha. I see. That's what happened. I thought it just happened in one night.
It happens over many, many years, many nights.
자, 그러면은 여기까지 해서 스토리보드.
Now we have talked about the storyboarding process. After that, we have to shoot the scenes. So using the computer software, we start to work on it. In the case of Croods, about 250 artists worked for about 3 and 5 years. And we have the rough layout team, which is under my responsibility, and there are 7 artists who worked over 2 years on this animation movie. But if we are not cooperating and doing alone, how long do you think it will take for one person to do it at all? How long do you think it will take?
So just tell me, 10, 20 years?
Hire him.
All right. Anybody?
Hire him. He's a production manager.
All right. Why don't you, 저 나중에 연락처 저한테 주시면.
So please give me your contact information so that we can, our recruit team can contact you.
That's great. 15년 걸립니다. 자, 이따가 가지 마.
It takes 15 years. So please, before you go, come to me and get this animal from me, this toy with me. And we also have animation team where more than about 20 artists have been working for over 2 years. And if the work is done by one person alone, how long do you think it will take?
50년이요?
50 years?
몇 년이라고 하셨죠?
How many years did you say? 44 years?
35년.
It takes 35 years.
거의 비슷하셨어요.
You are close to the right answer, so please get my business card before you leave. And we will give you what Chris has.
이 애니메이션 작업을
And if this animation work is done by just one person, then he's almost out of his mind. How long do you think it will take for him to do it alone? Please raise your hand and answer. The man in the middle, 80 years, wrong. Where? There. They're wearing red clothes. 99 years, wrong. Do you need water? What do you need?
It's not possible. We shouldn't hire her. All right, we have to make it work. 자, 다음 분.
Next person.
자, 한 명만 더 받을게요.
One more answer. We will listen to one more answer from the audience. Wrong. Wrong. One last chance. Wrong. 500 years. So do you think we need to cooperate to survive and live? No, this is the business that requires us to cooperate and collaborate. No, if you do the work alone, it takes 500 years. But how could we achieve this in such a short time of 3.5 years? We have 14 teams, and these teams have different jobs to do: study, editorial, development. So we start from this study editorial and going through the parts of the organization, and then finally we get to have the final images. And we also have a support team like a production technology and production management and overhead management. These people are providing a lot of support. So artificial work is done, and then the modeling is all we need to do? No, that is not the case. Although we have this sequence of work, they are all organically linked to each other. And if any one of this line is disconnected, then we cannot continue our work. So 250 or close to 300 people are working in different teams, and we need the production managers who manages the budget and schedules for all our teams. And I am working in the layout team. We have a fluorescent green team, and underneath it you see a green color. And 26 departments are working together with us, and therefore we have two large teams to handle the work. And Master does the color adjustment after the animation is completed. So let's go back to the crudes. The one sequence means if the animation is 90 minutes long, then there are about 30 different segments for us to work. And one segment requires 30 weeks of work to complete. So that is what we call sequence. One segment is a sequence. And in create a film, it takes 3.5 years or 4 years. And the first series takes about 4.5 years, and at least the first year requires the development of the story and story building, and the rest of the period is for actual production. But in the case of the sequel 2, all the characters are developed, and therefore it takes less than the original time. And the 3.5 years is...
Why are we doing it? That's sad.
You have a family, right?
That's
you have
a lot of work.
Support, don't you?
Oh
right?
My God. There's got to be easier ways.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I forgot what I should say. Okay. 자, 그러면은 제가 촬영 감독이라고 여러분들께서 소개를 해주셨는데.
I was introduced as a cinematographer. Isn't animation all about drawing? People sometimes ask, so why do we need me? Have you watched the movie Avatar? Do you think does someone believe that Avatar was drawn by someone else? By someone? But because it's so natural, instinct. 70% of the production process is similar to Avatar. The remaining 30%, the difference, it's that in the Avatar, the movie, there are real people in the movie, but it's not the case in our movie. James Cameron would follow with a camera. Have you watched James Cameron? And he says that he's surfing in a virtual world. But in reality, it's true. Because when we work, we have a camera capture system. And we have this equipment that looks like a camera in a very big space. We move around looking at the screen. And some people will think that, isn't that weird? Is he okay? Because we move around with the screen, and virtually we can move around the set, which is inside the computer. And if we move on to the next slide, we know that the theme today is collaboration. And collaboration. Roger Deakins is not well known by many people, but in the industry he's well known. 007, A Beautiful Mind, True Grit, Shawshank Redemption. Can you, do those movies remind you of something? He's one of the most respected person in the industry, and he gave us visual consulting. He conducted visual consulting for our movie, and let's show you what he did for us.
지금 하얀 옷을 입고
In white is Roger Deakins, and I'm next to him. And we have the virtual actors, the motion capture actors. When the director moves the camera, as you can see, you can see the camera move. Even in animation movies, like other movies, you can do the production work in a similar fashion. In the Croods, for the first time in DreamWorks, we have tried a documentary style. So we did not use the computer 100%, but the cameraman had shot some of the scenes so that it could feel more real in the movie. Roger Deakins, for the first 3 months, we worked on what style we were going to adopt. And then 4 months down the production, he had to go abroad. And he said, so how am I going to conduct consulting while I'm away? But we have using a technology, Share-Suite, when Mr. Deakins was abroad, and we at DreamWorks, when we play a movie, we were able to share the movie in real time, simultaneously. And so we were able to discuss the different options, close up or go wide. So we were able to entertain a real-time discussion with the director. So what he is holding is the camera that we were talking about, and as you can see, he is looking at the screen. So while he's moving, you can see, according to his moves, the screen will also move accordingly.
그러면 Chris, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
All right, that's great. What was the experience collaborating with 250 artists that we're seeing in the background? Actually, slightly less than people because we took this picture. 이 사진은 저희가 작업이 끝나고 휴가 가신 분이 많을 때.
Now, this picture is taken after many of our team members had a leave after the work is completed. So actually, the people in the picture is less than 250.
I think the most amazing thing about working with a crew of people that are this good at what they do. They're not only amazing artists, amazing technicians, but everybody there works really well together. So it doesn't feel like you're working with that many people. That's the thing that's so cool about this. It feels like you're just, everybody feels like an extension of yourself because we're just trying to tell a story. And so everybody understands what the movie is going to try to say, and they help us to say that. They really magnify that. One of the things that we were told at the very beginning of this whole thing was that we can't do everything, but we can do anything. So what that meant was we had to make some decisions at the very beginning as to technologically what we wanted to create and put up on screen. But what they're telling us is that the technology and the people, the artists, have come to a point where whatever we would ask them, they could do. And that's an amazing feeling. And that means that we as storytellers, Kirk and I as writers and storytellers, we can say whatever we need to say, which is pretty amazing.
No, that's great. That's it.
Yeah.
짧았지만 여러분들.
It was a short session, but it was a great pleasure for us to get to meet you, and I do hope that you continue to enjoy the remaining sessions.
Questions? You're running out of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
자,
Must be a
혹시
question. Does anybody have a question?
감독님들이나
So if you have any questions to the directors or to me, so for your reference, I am married and I have a child.
Okay, cool. Well, one of the big innovative features in our movie technologically is when in our movie, you know, as Chris was saying, the engineer said, you know, we can do everything, but we can do anything, but we can't do everything. One of the things they asked us at the beginning, they said, where are the sets you guys want to go? And we're like, okay, well, it's cavemen. We want some fire. We want lava. They're like, yeah, we can do lava. We're like, we want water. Yeah, we can do water. And we were like,
avalanche.
Avalanche.
Cool.
We can do avalanche. And they were like, we want tar. And they're like, tar? What do you mean tar? Tar pit?
How much tar?
How much tar?
Are they going to touch it?
Are they going to touch it? Is it going to touch him? So the tar pit, where,
You could tell they had nothing
where
out.
the characters sink into, like, you know, dinosaurs from the past, that tar was a completely new thing. They never done that before at DreamWorks, and it actually is a cloth simulation. It's sort of the same simulation they would do for a piece of clothing or something, but they manipulated it so it looks like tar. So, and I think it really, as you'll see in the film, I mean, it's first of all, they play it for comedy, and then at the end, it's really one of the highest dramatic moments in the film, and you buy that these two guys are sinking into this tar.
다음 질문? 아직 시간이 좀 있어요. 저희 가운데.
Next question.
What did we fight about?
Yeah, just fight about.
Did we fight about anything?
Yeah, just.
Have we? Oh, we laughed about
It's
it.
hard to find a place to eat lunch. There's probably not enough tables. They lack
That's
tables.
true.
No, it's good. It
It's
was
all
very
good.
네.
We were lucky.
네, 항상 기분 좋게 일해.
I only have good memories. We did not have any fights. And it was a very long process. 3.5 years is long. And it was also a very challenging task. So we were trying to help others when they were in need, and these directors were very helpful as well. For instance, when it was technologically too difficult, it would be better to probably invest the 10 weeks needed for that particular technology and then invest those 10 weeks elsewhere. So, but the overall, all my memories are only good memories.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
이거 받으실 분 이쪽으로 나오세요. We're gonna throw it? No, I don't think so. I mean, we have
Why,
to
is it
give up.
legal?
We have to give up.
I'll do it. Why not launch it?
You're so welcome.
Is it too dangerous? Is it too dangerous? Let's go.
Wait, he needs one. He's missing his.